Okay, so we stopped at PEMOB 39, and now we're supposed to do PEMOB 67, right?
Okay, before that, David has installed the app from test.
Okay, before that, could you please provide us an update on how the build works? Did you try?
It worked. I was able to install it. I have some feedback that I could tell you about when we are done with the planning, because I have a number of bugs that I have already discovered. I haven't written them down in a sheet yet. I'm gonna do that immediately after the call, and I will share the sheet with you. These aren't, as far as I can see, very well. I wouldn't say these are going to be very difficult to fix, but if you want, I can start with that. So it's up to you.
He's asking whether we want to review those bugs or we first complete the planning and then that estimation is pending.
So better if we share, we'll review that and
description.
Okay. The way the team feels, it would be better if we review those bugs first, because we have a story for that in the sprint and pending with the estimation.
Okay. Well, actually, the problem is that we need to, we would need to fix as many bugs as possible today and tomorrow, so that I have a ready version for Friday presentation, right? So this is our main focus. We need to start with this one. So let me tell you what the bugs are. First of all, clouds don't disappear. This is the thing that we discussed yesterday, right?
Cloud?
Yes,
okay. David, would you be sharing your screen?
Well, yeah, but okay, I can share it, okay, if you want, because it's not in a sheet. I just described it in my. Okay, so can you see my screen? Okay.
Yeah.
So clouds, when I download a piece of content, when I download a particular lesson, the cloud disappears and it never goes back. But if I download a whole unit, then the clouds are there and I cannot get rid of them. Okay, I mean clouds next to the lesson. So this is what needs to be fixed. App does not load a list of levels the first time you open it. So I installed the app in the morning today, and I opened it. I could see Epic right in the main menu. When I tapped Epic, I saw nothing. Right, so blank screen. So I needed to kill the app, open it again, open Epic, and then I could see a list of levels. Right. So, but this is a minor, well, not a minor, because the majority of users are going to use the app for the first time. So, well, this is a bug that needs to be fixed. When I open the scan tab, what I can see is the help tab. Right. So I cannot scan a QR code and open an activity. This is a minor thing. When I have already selected a unit, I open the app again. So I'm taken to the list of units. That's fine, but there is a segue animation before that, so we would need to get rid of the animation. But this is a minor thing. Pop-up notices about canceling downloads are incorrect because they say something like, let's see.
Yeah, something about not connecting.
Yeah, you're currently downloading the unit. Are you sure you want to leave? Right, so we need to just change the not to leave, or are you sure you want to cancel or something like that? Right, so this is a minor thing. Okay. When I tap courses in the unit menu, I'm taken to the list of products instead of levels. Again, a minor thing. Canceling downloading unit not 1 but unit 2 and 3 crashes the app. Right? So when I start,
even though
if you click on unit 3, nothing will come. Okay, it will be there. But tries to download. He's telling app is crashing when we tap on it. So we actually in negative scenarios we are not handled right. If there is no file, but it tries to download on that path, it will show the empty page, right? Then for unit 2, but for unit 3 there is nothing, not even a sub. So when it tries on clicking on download, it tries to fetch the array, but there will not be any object in that, so it's empty and undefined and it gets crashed. Actually, if the current scenario, we have not handled the negative scenarios. So since the unit tree does not contain any lesson or sub activities, so it's actually crashing when we click on download. If you tap on unit tree, it will not crash, but if you try to download, it will crash, I guess. Right?
Okay, so we're going to do, so we're going to do a workaround. So we are going to display a pop-up informing that units 2 and 3 cannot be downloaded for now. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. Okay? We need to add images to the courses and levels. The images are already, let me show them to you, are already here in Zeppelin, and what I did yesterday, I asked the content team, oh sorry, not this browser, I asked the content team to upload them to the storage, so I'm going to put links to the images in the JSON file. So you'll be able to fetch them from the JSON file and then display them properly, right? So this is the thing that Gerald mentioned yesterday, that we need to have this. Well, they're not here, unfortunately. Yeah, but what I mean is our images in these areas, right? Let me show you the, so this is it. So it's not very beautiful, but this is it, okay? So that's what it's gonna look like. So we need to fit this one into this one, and I'm going to put them in the JSON file. Let me show you at which place, because when I have epic, right? So here I can add, well, I cannot add it here. Okay, but in the levels, I have something that is called teacher cover, right? So I'm going to put a URI here, and we need to fetch the image and display it in an appropriate place. Okay, so each level is going to have its own image, and as for the whole course, or the epic course, we'll probably need to either hard code it or fetch it from somewhere else. Okay, so that's what we need to do definitely, because this is the thing that actually Gerald mentioned. It is all important for UI. My profile and help requires some styling, and it is strange when I start the audio or video file that it shows no download, right? I know why the file is in the binary, but we should at least try to mock downloading. So let's take a few seconds spinning around the spinner so that we can see that something is downloading, and then we can open the file locally, right? That's fine. But we need to provide a user experience that is similar to the desired one. Okay? And that's it. After my first testing, I think that no bigger mistake, no bigger bugs or enhancement are going to be there. There might be some minor issues that I may encounter, but that's it. And to tell you which ones are most important for me, so this one, so scan tab must open, and I must be able to scan a QR code. We need to do this one, remove the segment, no. Pop up, no, no. Okay, we need to put this one, 2. We need to do this one, and this one. Okay, so this is the order that I would do that. So I first deal with clouds, then the scan tab, imagery to courses and levels. My profile help requires some styling, display a pop-up informing that units 2 and 3 cannot be downloaded, mock downloading audio and video files. App does not, this one's more important than this one at least. Okay. And the rest is rather minor. Okay, so that's it. So that's it. But it's not finished yet because it took me just a few minutes to do the testing, right? So I'm gonna do some more after the call, and I'm going to put all these into a sheet and then send it over to you so that you can distribute it and you can start working on that. And is it feasible that we're gonna do that by tomorrow, the end of day?
Before that, David, so for the imagery and my profile and help page, we need some mockups and images. So once it is done, we can do away with that.
Imagery is done, right? As for my profile and help, well, okay, I'll try to ask Nathan to do some mock-ups. I'm not sure whether he reacts swiftly, so I think that we're gonna receive these by the end of today, and we would have a whole day tomorrow to do this styling, and I don't think it's gonna be anything difficult to apply. So okay, so let's do it this way. All right. So I'll ask for the mock-ups. As for the others,
David, were you asked permission to open camera in the scan?
It's been hidden. Scan tab is not given.
It's redirect again with the
Okay.
Component is
Fine.
David,
when I open the scan tab, what I can see is my help tab instead of a scan.
Removed it for development purpose, but we forgot to include it for the build actually. We'll do that right away.
Okay.
David, one more thing, we need to add imagery for levels also.
Yeah, it's going to be there. It's going to be in the JSON file. You're going to have URIs in the JSON files, right? So I'm going to put them under the teacher cover field.
Okay.
Okay, so can we complete this by end of tomorrow? All the reported bugs? 3, 6, 9, 11 are there. And 2 will be related to UI, and Sheikh will be working on imagery and my profile styling. So 9 are there.
Okay, tab courses.
Audio and video files. Segue animation empty cancel. There is a small update here. This point is there, right? Remove the segue animation when opening the app at unit level.
Yeah.
So it is like we are the router flex React Native concept will just navigate it to the corresponding page. So for navigation, we will be having the native animation, right? The segue based animation.
Currently, yes, but can we make an exception in the case where we open the app for the first time here and we are taking to the units? Could we just make an exception and not to have the animation here?
We'll check on that.
Okay, this is a minor thing. If it's it's a minor thing, but at some point we'll need to fix that.
Okay.
Okay, and this one is not important. These are the most serious ones that I discovered immediately when I started to play with the app, right? There might be some more, okay? So, well, I don't think these are, well, I'd say that this might be problematic because there are lots of cases to analyze here. But what I'd love you to do is just focus on these till the end of tomorrow, right? So that we build a product that I can present on Friday and it works good, it behaves properly, and so that I'm not afraid that, well, if I tap this one, something is going to blow, right? So I would I don't think these are very difficult things to fix. And I would like you to just focus on these and on the others that I might report later after the call, okay? Because this is our top priority at the moment, right? To create a product that is going to be very polished for Friday, okay? So this is what I'd like you to start with, right? So we do not need to, until the end of tomorrow, we do not need to work on any other stories if we cannot just focus on these and let's fix all these. I think that it is feasible without too much fuss.
Okay, and you need this in for iOS only or in Android as well?
Yes, yes.
On both?
Is
it for
you
both,
need
David?
both APK and IPK for Friday, right? Or iOS?
Both. For Friday, I need both Android and iOS. Yeah.
Okay, then, okay.
Take some time. So should for iOS. That means it.
How about for Android?
Because in Android actually the previous things are not working. No, it's a fact that we downloading, they are not checked it. I guess we can issue for iOS.
Okay, can you explain to David on the issues that you are facing in Android?
David, can you check the bill for Android?
I will, yeah, after the call. What I did was just with iOS, because this one was that I could do that myself on my own device. I need to take an Android device here at work, so that's what I'm going to do after the call.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Okay, David, looks like in Android we have a few more issues with the build.
No, actually, we've not tested in Android.
Yeah,
we focused only on iOS so far.
We just concentrated only on iOS, but we don't know. We just generated the build.
We have not played with
we
it.
can able to install that.
Okay.
But we haven't went deeply inside with Android yet.
Okay, maybe when David checks and come back, we will get to know how it works.
So maybe
functionalities will work, but maybe
few tweaks will be missing.
Okay. Out of.
Okay, fine. Let's see.
Okay.
When he reports.
Take iOS.
He wants more for the demo. He can come back. Yeah.
We have iOS as the first priority.
Anyway, we have what to do in iOS, right? So we'll start with iOS. And
I mean, you will cover for both, right? It's just you have not tested, but the work you will do will apply for both.
Yeah, we are
okay, fine.
Taking the build from the same code, right? So functionality wise,
okay, fine.
It's fine.
Okay, David. So shall we proceed with estimation, or should we wait for the few more bugs?
No, we'll start with what
we can start working on the reported bugs as of now. So on the estimation, just give a rough estimation.
Only these things we need to fix, or
no, few more bugs will be reported if.
No, I
think I think we can provide a rough estimation and then change it later if more are identified.
Anyhow, we'll be working on these bugs till tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So that is the timeline we have. We have to do that. So I think we can skip estimate.
But we need to commit other stories based on the estimation.
Anyhow, we all.
So once the report, once he reports, then we can put a figure in the estimation story points field.
Okay. Because anyway, everyone is going to work on this for today and tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, David, fine with the list of bugs. The team will start working on the reported bugs right away. And for the estimation, we will wait until the final list of bugs is reported. Is that fine?
Okay, all right. We can even do that offline. So just let me know what the estimation is, and then we can. We do not need to. If you need to discuss anything with me, then we can have a call. But if it turns out that well, there are no questions so far, or we can deal with the questions offline too, then just send me an email so that I know what to put in Jira, and we're done with that. Okay.
Sure, David.
Okay.
Okay, so let's proceed with the other stories.
Okay, all right, so we have 23, even assuming that we're gonna have 8, which I don't think is going to be the case for polishing, right? But so we have then 31, so I believe that we still have some space for to include some elements. And even if we include these 8, then we are 39, so let's try to put something else too, okay? So we have PEMOB 67, right? I want to see a scan help view when I tap a call to action row for product. This is the thing that we discussed yesterday too. I believe you all should have access to the Lucid chart because I sent you an email yesterday in which it is described, and actually it is described in the Zeppelin mockups too, right? So this is the screen, so scan help, right? So when I tap the call to action row, I can see the screen, I tap let's go, and then I can proceed with scanning the QR code and unlocking the product. So that's what the story is about. Okay.
David, sorry for the interruption. 31 plus, and we have 2 more stories in the backlog, right? 131 and 64.
Yes.
So with that, we will have around 39.
Yes. And as far as I remember, velocity was 48. Is that correct?
45, David, and 5 for Sheikh, and the remaining 40 for the 5 developers. So I just want to check with the developers if they are comfortable taking additional stories.
We are locked up for the 2 days.
Extra polishing this one.
Yeah, we have 2 days for the polishing, so remaining 8 days for the other stories. How many stories then? 9, 8 stories will be there.
8 days will be there.
8 stories.
This block is this pattern.
How?
Today and tomorrow.
If we're working on this one, policy.
Policy. Polishing. Okay. So, team, are you comfortable taking one more story or?
60. This one.
Yes, 67.
Okay. Same as 39.
So help is a very way to divide it. Way to divide it, right?
This is the one, right?
It's complete.
I think we can accommodate one more story, but
This story is related. Okay.
67.
In 67, we just have to show that Zeppelin mockup, right? Scan help 04.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I'm wondering if we need to have it as a separate story, because here we have scan the QR code. Okay, and here it's already here, right? So we already have this process here in this PEMOB 79, because this is actually what's in the Lucid chart too. So I just wonder if we actually need this as a separate story. it might be a remnant of some, yeah, because look at that. It's here, right? So it's already included in other stories. So I think that we can skip this one and even close it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
we can put this as a.
We can have it as a task or a subtask and link it to the story, David.
Okay.
Just for keeping it as a track.
Okay, all right. So we can keep it because I'm wondering which one would be more important for me, 67 or 42. So let's estimate both and see which one is easier to implement because both are equally important. So so let's estimate both. Okay.
Okay, 67. We are not going to estimate 67, right? Because we are considering it as a task. Is that right? Okay. 67. Yeah, we need to change the story type as task.
Okay.
And then leave it as unestimated.
Okay.
Is that fine, David?
Okay, I have never done that, so you need to tell me how to do that.
Yeah, sure. Issue type is there. It is showing new feature. Issue type. Yeah.
Okay, all right. And it should be a
task. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So we are not estimating it, or we are estimating it?
No, we are not estimating the task.
Okay, all right. Well, should I put it in the sprint then?
Sure.
Yes.
All right, and how about estimating this one, 42? As a user, I want a newly added product to be set as default to allow me to use the access to the newest product. So if the user unlocks a new product, it is automatically set as the last used. So when the user opens the app again, he or she is taken to the product's list of units. I think this is not a complicated thing, as we already have implemented the mechanism of setting a default product. So what I just need to have is that when you scan a product and you unlock it, it becomes the default. So when you open the app again, you're immediately taken to the list of units of that product. So that's it.
I think this will work already, right? We have the default.
If we add a new course now, then we need to change everything.
No,
No, it is for the page level.
David, by product you mean unit unlocking the units or a new course, another one like Epic?
No. You're unlocking a level in a course, right? You're unlocking a level in a course. So I have just unlocked, for example, level 1, right? And it becomes the default for me, right? So when I open the app again, I'm taking to to the list of units of this particular level. It is identical to as if I just opened unit 1 and never unlocked it, right? So it should actually, it might not need any work actually. I don't know how it's constructed from the code point of view, but what I just want is that, for example, I'm thinking because at the moment we have a situation that we need to open a unit, a list of units of let's say level 2 is locked, right? For now. We need to open it, level 2, so it becomes the default already, right? Then we tap call to action row, scan, unlock it, and it's still the default. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so we do not need any work here, actually. So it's a non-task. Yeah.
After completing scan, we can able to.
David, as of now, the use case is like once the user goes inside some pages, it will be set as default. But then are you asking, like, suppose if a user just scans and unlocks a level itself, we have to set it as the default? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, yeah, that's it. That's it, exactly.
We are just thinking how we can implement it. David.
David, we guess it will be having some issues in navigation, so we'll have to check it out. So already while scanning and going to activity, it conflicts with the default views, right? So
Okay.
this is also
Right. Okay, but here we do not need to do anything with navigation, right? Because we can scan a QR code, unlock a product, and I'm not saying that we need to be taken to this immediately, right? I just want the user, when he or she, for example, the user has gone to the scan tab, scanned the QR code for the product, right? Unlocked it, right? And he or she is back to the scan tab. Then he or she kills the app and automatically is taken to the courses level at the list of units of this product that he or she has just unlocked.
Okay, but
so I'm not saying that we need to go to the courses tab and open it there after scanning. No, it's not. It's not necessary.
But in that case,
I can't hear you.
Because suppose if the user
could you repeat the question because I couldn't hear anything for a moment.
But in that case, the previous functionality will get affected, because as of now, when the user logs in, I mean, the user navigates to some particular page and he or she kills the app, then again on opening the app, the last viewed page will be displayed. But then in this case, suppose if a user scans a QR and the use case is like we have to set that page, I mean that level or that page as the default one. In this case, there will be a tie. Are you able to understand what I'm trying to in the
No, to be honest, no. So try to rephrase it, so because I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Again.
As of now, we have. I mean, the previous Prince RAM story was like, suppose if a user consider that there are 3 pages in the application for navigation, courses, then the levels, and then the units page. So if the user navigates to the 3rd page and then he kills the app and then opens the app again, the 3rd page will be shown as the default page in the as of now this story. So suppose if the user, I mean, in the second case, based on the QR and if a particular level is set as default, then how are we going to set which one is the default?
Because well, as it was in the story, when you open another level, right, the previous one gets overridden, right? We just save the last one. So isn't it possible that when I unlock a product, right, I go to scan tab, I scan a QR code of a product, not another activity, but of a product, and then I override the previous default course.
As of now, we are just going to mock the QR one, right? The way that's
the QR code story. Just let me ask one thing. In QR code story, are we going to redirect to that level or do we have any story?
Actually, we have to redirect, but as of now, we don't have any method to redirect to that particular table of contents. So
then in that case, how can we take? In that case, how can we take this to see? See, you are giving action to call. Okay, so you are allowing the user to scan the code. So
after it is open, scan in the same
okay, scan. Okay, so scanner will be open, and you will allow the user to download that unit, right? So after downloading, are you going to redirect them to unit?
Will be in the same level. Already just unlocked and stay there.
it just show a message like you have unlocked this level.
But anyway, see, in this case, we are unlocking unit alone, right? But where is the linking?
Flows, there's no flow.
Check on it. See, in that case, you are providing the action to call for the units. After he unlocked the units, anyway, if it is in the same level, then what else in this story?
David, we'll have this call to action in the units page, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll not have this in the levels page, correct?
Yes.
So then,
So that level is going, if the user is already inside that units page, so that is going to be his default view already.
Yes.
So even if
Yeah.
so it's still going to be the default page, right?
Yes, exactly. So at the moment, this is a non-issue. This is another situation because it is theoretically possible that the user opens the scan tab, right? And he or she can scan a QR code of an activity, right? And be taken to the activity. And this functionality is there, right? Already, okay? Because Gautam has already developed it. But we can scan a product's QR code as well, right? And we need to distinguish, okay, this is a product's code, right? The user is going to log in. Well, the user is going to log in, but then we unlock the product, and then what happens? I believe that if there are problems with redirecting user to different tabs, okay, so let's go back to the scan tab, but when the user opens the courses tab, we need to refresh the view and show him a list of units for the level that he or she has just unlocked. Is that clear now?
By product, you mean a new course, right? Here.
new level.
A new level.
A new level. Okay. From the scan tab, once he scans new product, I mean the new level, you want him, you want us to redirect it to inside that level. For example, if he scans.
No. We scan a QR code, right? Okay. We unlock the product,
okay,
and we go back to the scan tab. But when the user then taps the courses tab, right? The tab opens, but loads the list of units of the level that he or she has just unlocked. Is that clear?
So you mean you want to skip the levels page, right?
To the table of content.
No.
I don't get you actually. How you explain that?
Okay, so let's try to do it this way.
It'll be better, yeah, if you write it down or you just show the screens in Zeppelin from this screen to this screen. That will also.
Well, it's going to be hard then because okay, but let's try because I don't remember which ones are there. So the user opens the scan tab. Okay, so he or she sees a scan, and he or she scans a QR code for the product. Okay, so I just opened the app, opened the scan tab, and I'm scanning the QR code for the product. So we are validating the code, blah, 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 do all this stuff. We tell the user to log in, the user logs in, and we are taken back to the scanner tab, right? And then I tap courses, and I am taken here, right? But this is, of course, does not appear because it has already been. Okay, so the user must tap courses in order to be taken here, and this just reloads and loads the one that was scanned previously. Okay, any clearer?
Okay, this case already we have. We'll fix it up first.
Oh. So from scan, after the scan tab, after he logs in and everything, when he taps on the courses tab, he has to be shown the newly unlocked units.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I think the navigation will be a little bit complex, I guess.
Because already we have some clash with the navigation in the scan tab.
So it is yet to be resolved, right?
Right now, we'll focus on this polishing and the stories that we have taken up so far, and then we'll try to find a solution for this navigation issues. so that we can.
Okay, all right. So we can do that, because for the time being, the most important functionality is that when it taps the call to action row, then we can unlock the product, and this is going to be a non-issue there, because this is still going to be the default product, so it's fine for now. Okay, that's fine. But in the future, we'll need to deal with that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, David.
All right. So shall I start this sprint?
Okay, the polishing items can.
Yes. So once we get the list of bugs, and then we estimate the polishing story. After that, we start sprint. Anyways, we will give the start sprint today, once we get the bugs, and then review those bugs, David.
Okay, no problem. Right. Really.
Can you ask him to add the DSS, whatever he found?
Yeah, he said he will add those lists as a document.
No,
in the we can link that document. Or,
yeah, he will link that document in the story.
Okay.
So later we can have those lists as subtask, and then assign each person for that list of bugs.
Okay.
Fine?
Yeah.
Okay. And I have a suggestion here. We have 2 more stories in the backlog, right? We are anyways going to take those 2 stories. Is that right? One on 131 and 64. So once that spike is done. Yeah. Surely we are going to take those stories for the sprint.
No.
Correct?
See, we found that
Supposed to be
we
like
can work around to find an offline. Yeah.
once the spike is done, but anyways, it is applicable within the sprint, right?
Once the spike is done.
Correct. Once the spike is done, because the spike has to be completed as soon as possible.
Yes, we are working on it.
And then we need to continue with PEMOB 131. So we can pull that into the sprint is what I suggest.
No.
The thing is, we do not have any help inside our. I mean, none of teams that can help us now.
Okay.
So we are solely dependent on the EP documentation provided on the internet. So
that is,
we just have to give them try.
Through workaround, we can do that. We have found that.
Okay.
But we are not sure.
We have to try it.
Okay, but I would agree with Kalpana, because if it turns out that it is impossible to do that or something, then we can just close the issues, right? Or change them into something that is possible. You know, well, look at that. We have 23 points, right? If we have 40 or 45, so I think that it is going to look strange that we have so many velocity points and we just estimate it to 23. I would put them here, and if it turns out that it's impossible, then we can always take them out or close them. You know, that's my view too. So I agree with Kalpana here.
Is that fine, team?
Yes.
Yeah, if you find any difficulties, then I mean, he's agreed with your solutions.
We should find an alternative way, right?
Sorry?
We should find some alternative way.
Yes, that is the part of spike.
That is right.
Analysis, finding a solution is what the spike does, the scope of the spike. Then implementing that solution is 131.
And may I change the priority of the spike to something more serious?
Yeah, I think it is critical now.
Yeah, I think so too.
It has 2 dependent stories actually. I mean, interlinked. Three issues are interlinked. 136. 131 is dependent on 136, and 64 is dependent on 131. So it is.
No. I just say that 64 is dependent on 136 too, because it's a question of simply being able to implement ThinkCAD. So I'd say that these both are dependent on 136.
David, I have a question about 64.
Which one? 64? Yeah, okay.
So in the description you mentioned in the next 10 previous buttons which would load another activity within a skill.
Yes.
Could you add more skills in the JSON? Right now, I guess every activity, I mean, every lesson has one skill, right? One lesson has one skill, I guess.
So no, so it's the other way around. So I'd put more activities to a skill. Yeah, you're right. So because level, unit, then we have lesson, and then we have a skill, right? Conversation, and within that we have just one activity. So we need to put one more activity, at least to one skill. Is that correct?
Yes. Only then we could.
Okay, I'll do that. No problem. Yeah, sure. It's going to be one of this. It's going to be another. Well, I'm going to borrow one of the activities, and it's going to be the same as in the other one because I do not have too many activities. I just have a few. So I'm going to use the same ones. I'm not going to change anything in lesson 2 or lesson 3. I'm going to just put another activity here in lesson 1. Okay, in one of the skills.
Okay.
Fine. Okay, Veena, are you okay with this plan?
Yes, no, because 2-3 stories are different.
I mean, how about 64?
I think 64.
It is also dependent.
It is
So
also dependent because we'll be having
how much
that in the
effort to
HTML.
take that?
He's giving the
I think this will not be linked to the
Because
tin
it will
can,
be there.
right?
It will not be linked to tin can, but we'll be triggering the icons within the HTML.
yes.
No, can we not manually place icons or
One more thing we tried just to put that, but it was showing some.
It will exactly.
We don't know how
There
to,
is
how
some
we are
server
going to
issues
resolve.
over there.
Yes.
Okay, so how about this plan? Like we will commit 131 into the sprint and 64 in backlog and take it into the sprint once you are ready with the solution.
131 also being backlog after completing the sprint.
Actually, while adding the tin can packages, we had faced some issues, so we were not able to run the project with the tin
We
can.
requested and got without tin can package.
Yes.
Okay, David, the team is not comfortable with this because since the exploration is underway, so if we commit both the stories.
Actually, we were facing some issues in the project with the tin can packages, actually. So we need to figure out what the issues as well. So only then we can run the project with tin can. So my suggestion would be we'll go on with the spike, and
After completion.
after we complete it, we'll pull this 136, sorry, 131 and 64.
Okay, so could you tell me when the spike could over?
No, we will do as soon as possible.
More or less. I'm not saying precisely, but is the end of the week feasible?
No, we need to work on the problem.
No, polishing, we will be polishing like 159.
Polishing.
Okay. All right. So, yeah.
Already we here it's half day almost. So we'll be having 1.5 days for that 159. So we'll all be working together in that.
Okay. All right. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. So not the end of the week, but I don't know, Tuesday next week.
Hopefully, I'll try my best because even I am not clear about
No,
it.
because no one is there for guidance for offline tin can package.
Exactly.
Yesterday we tried it, so that's why we can't able to assure cover because no one is there here for some other guidance at least. If we got some other guidance how to use that package and all, at least we'll try to push as soon as possible. So in that case we can't assure.
We are implementing it on our own. We are trying it out by ourselves. So that's why we are unable to assure the date, the particular date.
Okay, maybe let's fix it as Tuesday and put our efforts to complete it by Tuesday.
Exactly. So I would put it this way. Let's try to do it by Tuesday and then decide if we're going to continue the spike or we're going to give it up and then proceed with some other stories, right? Because I don't want to spend too much time on doing the spike. If we don't want to include these, then I don't want to spend too much time on spike instead of doing some functionalities that could be there, right? So let's do it this way. Okay, so I'm taking these out.
Okay.
But then let's get back to this discussion on Tuesday, and then we'll see if we're going to put them back or if we're going to add others instead of continuing the spike and putting these. Okay?
Sure, David. Okay, so shall we proceed with assigning people for each stories then? Yeah. 159. Who will take the ownership? 159.
That is policy.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I know you will all work, but just for the data purpose, just give an.
Yes.
Who will be working on the build mainly?
Build, okay.
Me. You. Okay.
That is
So.
build generation.
Fine. Okay.
And
Mahalakshmi. Oh.
Sometimes
We can split this up task.
Yeah.
So 159 Maha will be taking care of it as a whole, David. But everyone will contribute on fixing the
create a
bugs.
subtask.
Fine. So they will create subtasks for each bugs and they will work on it. Okay, and secondly, 136
Which one?
spike. Okay.
That is the
82 Gautam is working on. 130.
okay, the assigned.
Okay, Ram will take it up, David. 130 is for Ram. And 66, Idil, it was assigned to
Yes,
you
66
during the
and
backlog
68,
roaming. I
yes,
think
I-
you will take it up. Okay. So moving on to 79, Gautam.
Actually, 79, 48, that two are interrelated.
48 is interrelated to 79.
79.
Okay. So you will take both 79 and 48 and also work on 82.
Kind of a solution for this one. Also will be easy.
Okay.
This
And
one will take more time. That's the
okay.
problem.
Even if it takes more time, you will be able to do it within this period, right? Okay. So David, 79 and 48 for Gautam.
70. Okay. Oh.
80, 60,
39.
Me.
Maha. 39 is for Maha.
and last one is
Okay, not Mahala. So go. Ah. Okay.
Maha, I think you have only 2 point story in this print.
yes, it is not estimated.
Estimated.
You only said the points.
That is shared one actually.
So this is not being considered in this scenario cases.
Okay, 67 is for Ram. Okay. 67 is for Ram, David.
Jesus. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm not starting it because we are still waiting for the estimation, right?
Right. Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's call it a day. I'm getting back to work, so I'm starting to test the app so that I can send you the sheet with all my reports as soon as possible. I'm gonna prioritize them. So let's start with the most important ones till the least important ones, right? So let's do it this way. And I'm gonna test it on both iOS and Android. But when I'm done with iOS, I'm gonna share it with you immediately. Then I'm going to jump on to Android. When I'm done with both, I'm gonna let you know too, right? So that you know which ones are most important, at least in iOS, so that you can work, so that there are no blockers here, okay? From my side.
Okay, then. Thank you, David. Thank you, team.
All right, so thank you very much, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, okay?
Sure, David. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.